Now you're just in time to find out what's making the headlines in the Daybreak News this morning. In a twist of events, ruling United Party for National Development UPND has admitted of having been responsible for the damaging of 2 campaign billboards of an independent aspiring candidate for Solwezi Central Constituency, Poho Kawina. Speaking at a conflict management committee meeting in Solwezi District, UPND Solwezi District Secretary Nobi Mwanza explains that some unruly UPND youths destroyed the 2 campaign billboards, but it not having blessings from the ruling party. Mr. Mwanza regrets the incident that happened on June 2nd, 2026 at Solwezi River Bridge, where some of the party cadres brought down the 2 campaign billboards. Hear the rest of the details in this report.
Going forward, yes, we can confirm that some of our unruly youths acted on their own to damage the posters.
The ruling United Party for National Development UPND in Solwezi Central Constituency has admitted that its unruly youths destroyed campaign billboards belonging to an independent aspiring candidate, Poho Kawina. The billboards were placed at Solwezi River Bridge and were vandalized earlier this month. UPND Solwezi District Secretary Nobi Mwanza expressed regret over the incident. Mr. Mwanza told the Electoral Commission of Zambia's Conflict Management Committee that the destruction did not have the blessing of the ruling party.
Thank you, Mr. Makai, for that question. With the facts that we've received after the conclusion of the matter, we cannot deny the fact that it's our unruly cadres that went to pull out those billboards, of course, without being directed by anyone, just like any other political party. It's very difficult to account for actions of our cadres, but at this point, I think we just have to accept responsibility.
This admission marks a shift. Earlier this month, the ruling party had denied that none of its youths were responsible for damaging Mr. Kawina's billboards. Mr. Kawina had insisted that UPND members were responsible for the damage. John Kimba represented him at the ACZ meeting.
Indeed, today we want to confirm and affirm that we have resolved fully this matter, and we as the Kawina Poho campaign team, we are pledging that we are going to uphold the rule of law.
According to the conflict resolution outcome, Mr. Kawina agrees to replace the damaged campaign billboards at his own costs. Police had instituted investigations into the damaging of Mr. Kawina's property, and Solwezi residents now await the findings. For now, the ACZ committee is pushing dialogue over destruction as campaigns heat up in Solwezi Central Constituency. Patrick Makai, Crown TV News, Solwezi.
In other stories this morning, Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has described the 2026 general election as serious business, emphasizing the need for decisive victory. Addressing supporters in Mongue, Western Province, President Hichilema says securing a landslide victory win would enable his government to nominate more women, youths, and persons with disabilities to Parliament, even if they are not adopted by the ruling party. The president has since urged all eligible voters to turn up in numbers on election day and cast their votes in favor of the UPND.
2026 elections is not for games. It's a serious business. HH needs to win and win with a big number, so we can allocate more UPND women into Parliament and in the councils. If you are a woman, you are not adopted, work hard so that the president gets a higher vote, then we will select you to go to Parliament as well. Family member who is a voter, make sure they go to vote. Your neighbor must go and vote. Your neighbor in the market must be told to go and vote. All those in the plains, they must that day go and vote. First they vote by water first before going to fish. But before you go to Itapi that day, you go and vote first. Then you can go to fish.
In other stories this morning, workers at Petauke Town Council have downed tools demanding their 3 months of unpaid salary arrears. Petauke Town Council Secretary Calvin Banda has confirmed to Crown TV News that workers from grade 1 to grade 4 have not been paid for 3 months. Mr. Banda says Petauke Town Council owes workers about 5 million kwacha. Details in this following report.
These are Petauke Town Council workers who have downed tools demanding payment of 3 months' salary arrears. The workers' sit-in protest comes as a result of the council's failure to pay their salaries for the past 3 months. Despite several engagement between Petauke Town Council administration and union representatives, all efforts to resolve the matter have proved unsuccessful. The workers say they are facing numerous challenges, including evictions from rented houses, lack of basic necessities, and failure to pay school fees for their children. Despite engagement with Petauke Town Council Secretary Calvin Banda, a conclusive resolution could not be reached as the workers continue demanding immediate payment of their outstanding salaries. Mr. Banda has since engaged the affected workers and their union representatives, providing updates on the efforts being undertaken to address the matter. He says management continues to engage the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development on the issue of salary arrears and other operational challenges affecting the local authority.
I wish to acknowledge that we have not paid salaries for employees for the past 3 months. We are owing the workers May. We're also owing them for April and for March. So we've only paid for this year, we've paid for January and February. Everybody has been cleared. So the 3 months which we are remaining with are the ones which we are owing. Currently that stands at almost a 5 million quarter which we are owing the workers. And we have engaged government so that we find the lasting solution to this issue. Government has given us very, very positive feedback that this issue will be resolved. We've had meetings and we've written correspondence to them. We are hopeful that the matter is resolved.
President of Zambia United Union of Local Authority and Allied Workers, Emmanuel Mwisa, said the union is aware of the workers' sit-in protest at Petauke Town Council and knows that government is doing everything possible to clear the outstanding 3 months' salary arrears.
We want to put it on record that we are aware as the National Center at the head office the situation at the Petauke Town Council. And we want to indicate to say as the parties, that is the Zambia United Local Authorities and Allied Workers Union, the Local Government Service Commission, the Ministry of Local Government, are addressing the current challenges that are being faced by the workers at Petauke Town Council. We are aware that the workers are in 3 months salary arrears. That is the salaries pending to be paid starting from March, April and May. Those salaries have not been paid, and workers in almost took some kind of a position of not wanting to work until their salaries are paid. But because of the cordial relationship that we have with government and also using the principle of dialogue, we had the engagements yesterday with the Ministry of Local Government, and at large, the whole matter is being looked into from an holistic point of standing, where government is trying to address the challenges even for the other councils that are also in a similar situation. What was discussed was that there are programs that will be undertaken, particularly for Petauke. We've been assured that government is sourcing some funds that will be sent to the council within this week to clear the outstanding issues. While that is being done, the government equalization fund has remained as a priority on the part of government. And using the same, government is trying to find some additional funds to beef up the local government equalization.
The council workers have now entered day 2 of the protest, demanding immediate payment of their salaries. For Crown TV News, Sambo David, Petauke Eastern Province.
Thanks so much, David, for that. Now, moving on to some other news this morning, where a devastating fire had swept through several makeshift shops in Chilenge, destroying property and merchandise worth thousands of kwacha, including drums, charcoal bags, and other goods. Now, according to nearby traders, the fire broke out around 23 hours on Monday night before quickly spreading through the structures. Take a listen.
Several traders have been left counting losses after a late-night fire reduced a cluster of shops to ashes in Lusaka's Chilenge township, destroying merchandise and wiping out sources of income for the affected business owners. The fire, which occurred on Monday night, gutted shops dealing in braziers, charcoal, ducks, and other goods. The fire has left traders devastated as they assess the damage. According to the traders, the fire is believed to have sparked around 23 hours on Monday evening before quickly spreading through the makeshift structures. The affected traders say large quantities of charcoal, drums, ducks, among other merchandise, were destroyed in the inferno. Meanwhile, some traders have expressed disappointment over the response time of the fire brigade, stating that the damage could have been significantly reduced had emergency services arrived on time. The traders have charged that the delayed response allowed the fire to spread uncontrollably, resulting in greater losses for the shop owners.
I came to try and see what can be salvaged from the fire that was, burning behind me this side. And as they were trying to remove some things and also trying to help out the people that were inside there, they had contacted the fire brigade around midnight somewhere there. But it was so sad that the fire brigade only managed to arrive here somewhere around 03, when a lot of things were already burnt and the fire was almost quenching off. So we just encourage the government and the fire brigade at large to pull up their tokens and be able to move fast when they hear that there is a fire somewhere, so that they can be able to reach in time and be able to save other properties before they get destroyed.
For Crown TV News, Tawanda Munyoki.
Catholic Diocese of Chipata Bishop George Lungu has commended the UPND government for several achievements. The bishop has cited the implementation of free education, the enhancement of the Constituency Development Fund, and debt restructuring as scored that should not be downplayed.
Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Chipata, George Lungu, has commended the UPND government for what he has described as significant strides in improving the lives of ordinary Zambians through key social and economic reforms. Speaking on the country's developmental trajectory, Bishop Lungu has singled out the introduction of free education, the enhancement of the Constituency Development Fund, and the successful restructuring of Zambia's debt as some of the government's most notable achievements. The bishop has stated that free education has opened doors for thousands of children who previously struggled to access learning due to financial constraints, describing the program as a transformative intervention that is helping secure the future of many young Zambians. He has further noted that the increased CDF has empowered local communities by bringing development closer to the people.
At CDF, ma constituency mwamuzi wantu ukatijana chituko chuoneka chimwishita mwaya UPND na HH muchachiweme chakuti vantu ave na mphamvu yoona kuti kasi ndama zati pasa chituko chifunika pakati paso nchotyani mwa constituency muli ukatijana vantu achita chituko chosaoneka ya omwe mwichinsokonezo uzikonda mpaka nyomba ndama zikali mmabanki so CDF ni zona mwe boma muichita nchito iweme yotipasa mphamvu ma constituency tizichitira saka chitukuko tuziwa kuti apa patufuna apa yayi Ngani yakwi? Free education. Tuvana kuwamisha ngati ukia munsewu tuvana na tumpisi kumuka tulimga uniform na kakapu kumanja.
According to the bishop, many districts are now witnessing improvements in infrastructure, skills development, and access to opportunities that were previously beyond reach. Meanwhile, Bishop Lungu has emphasized that while challenges remain, it is important for citizens to acknowledge progress where it has been made. He has urged leaders across all sectors to continue working together in addressing the country's pressing needs while building on the gains already achieved.
Vuto ni akuti nthawi zonse akutakwaya ophunzira madaka boy mpela. No. Tifuna madokotala, tifuna maticha, tifuna nsembe, tifuna masistere. Ophunzira. Mapasi wa mpata pankhanya kuti free education kuti mwana aliyense apeze mpata wakuya mkalasa wakuya kusukulu taphunzire. Yani nkhani weme. Kama chita chipata. Nkhani weme. Nchatufuna. Khongole. Boma ichita bwino kuti nkhongole iya pindishe bwino kuti aone matinga lipirire. Kuti mawa nkucha
For Crown TV News, Tawanda Munyuki.
Now moving on to the Copper Belt, where the Ndola City Council has launched a campaign to remove all banners and posters put up in public and private spaces without proper approval. Speaking to Crown TV News, Council Public Relations Manager Rebecca Moshote said the authority has received many complaints from residents about the increasing number of banners and posters aimed at advertising various businesses, including traditional healers, which she said are making the city look dirty. She stresses only the council has the mandate to regulate and approve the display of posters and banners, and urged owners of the unauthorized materials to remove themselves before the council does, warning that unapproved postings will not be allowed.
Ndola City has long known as the friendly city of Zambia's Copper Belt province, which is now facing a different kind of friendliness. The city is crowded with placards, posters, banners, and billboards advertising traditional healers, commonly called witch doctors. Ndola City Council has started a cleanup exercise to remove the untidy displays, as the council says they are damaging the city's appearance and causing visual clutter.
Such banners, unfortunately, make the city look dirty. They also obstruct traffic in certain circumstances. It's still not allowed for people to just place banners talking about various things that they're able to do. So we also, as a local authority, do not permit every resident as your neighbor. It's offensive to them if they do not subscribe to what you are providing, a service that you are providing. They find it offensive, and some people say it is difficult for them to remove those banners on their own, and so they ask the local authority to come and remove the banner.
For residents have welcomed the move, saying traditional healers should get permission from property owners before putting up signs for their services.
So yarama poster balika mu sana mushani kachimoneka bwino and moreover chino chalo bachirumbula kwa bati Christian nation.
Meanwhile, Reverend Silekwa Mlenga, a Ndola clergyman, has urged residents seeking help from traditional healers to turn to Christian teachings instead.
That's why that they seek for spiritual intervention from men of God, authentic men of God.
Ultimately, whether the claims are true or not, the choice lies with individuals seeking healing to decide what is right and what is wrong. For Crown TV News, I'm David Kunda in Ndola District, Copper Belt Province.
And finally, in sporting news, where Zesco Football Club has set the stage for Zambia's next generation of talent after conducting the official draw for the Under-17 national tournament. The draw confirmed groupings for both boys and girls, marking the start of preparations for 4 days of grassroots football. The tournament, scheduled from 3rd to 6th July 2026, brings together provincial teams from across the country.
Search for Zambia's next generation of football talent is officially underway under the sponsorship of one of the country's leading financial institutions, Zesco Bank. The first phase of the competition got underway on Tuesday morning, with official draw conducted at the bank's headquarters in Lusaka. The Under-17 national tournament has attracted participation from all 10 provinces and is scheduled to take place from 3rd to 6th July 2026, providing a platform for young players to showcase their abilities on the national stage. Speaking during the draw ceremony, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Arts, Chileshe Kangwa, reaffirmed the government's commitment to sports development at all levels, with particular emphasis on grassroots and school sports.
The government of the Republic of Zambia remains firmly committed to the development of sport at all levels, with particular emphasis on grassroots and school sport, where the future of our sporting excellence is shaped.
And Zesco Bank Chief Executive Officer, Chibesa Kunda, says structured community programs create opportunities that go beyond the sport, helping young people access education and personal development.
In Zambia, structured community football programs continue to create opportunities that extend beyond sport into education, confidence building, and personal development.
Meanwhile, Zambia School Sports Association President Matrano Mondelema described the Zesco Grassroots Tournament as more than just a competition, stating that it promotes talent development, encourages learners to remain in school through sport, and contributes to building the next generation of Zambian footballers.
The Zesco Grassroots Tournament is more than a competition to us as Zambia School Sports Association. It is about the talent identification, keeping the learners in school through sport, and building the next generation of Zambia footballers in a disciplined environment.
The Football Association of Zambia has also welcomed the initiative, noting that it complements the association's talent identification programs and calling on other stakeholders to invest in similar youth development ventures.
And I also urge other clubs, because what Zesco is doing is showing us that they have the patience and they want to invest. They don't want to be chancers. Every day where the small boys are playing and they are prowling. No. Zesco wants to have their own pool of players.
And Zesco Football Club Board Chairperson David Msunga says the official draw marks the true commencement of the club's competitive journey, expressing confidence that the tournament will provide a valuable platform for identifying and nurturing future football stars.
The official draw symbolizes the true commencement of our competitive journey. It is a moment where fixtures are compiled and announced, and the stage is meticulously prepared for what promises to be an extraordinary display of young talent.
Labne Simpson reporting for Crown TV News in Lusaka.
Happy days.
That is all I had for you when it comes to the Daybreak News, but you can also watch our other bulletins. At 12 o'clock, we have the Midday News. 18:30, we have the Grand News. So make sure that you never miss out when it comes to current affairs, so that even if you walk out your house, you're kept up to date. Otherwise, we're going to take a short break. When we do return, we get to find out how the money markets are looking like on the Royal Breakfast Show.
On a busy day in Lusaka, right in the middle of a vlogging, Mr. Simon Mwela's phone battery died. Well, he knew what to do next. He called Zambia's top cell phone and accessories dealer. In a flash, problem solved. Across town, Dr. Sia Twambo was getting ready for a presentation when he realized that his PA forgot something. A quick call to Mobile City and his projector screen was delivered in no time. Meanwhile, Vana Fiasasa was about to leave for the village when she remembered she needed a phone upgrade. One call to Mobile City and a new phone arrived just in time. Vana Fiasasa snapping a selfie before hitting the road? But wait, I thought the other guys were in a hurry. For free, fast and reliable delivery, trust Mobile City. Beware of scammers. Mobile City Delivery. You order, we deliver.
Are you passionate about making a positive impact on communities? Do you dream of a career that combines psychology, social justice, and community empowerment?
Enroll in our June 2026 intake for the Diploma in Child and Adolescent Mental Health, community-based work with children and youth.
Dive into a transformative journey of learning and advocacy.
Immerse yourself in courses that explore human development, social policy, and diverse perspectives. Gain hands-on experience through community projects and internships.
REPSI is a TVETA-accredited institution and offers all programs through online situated distance learning. You'll be empowered with the skills to create real lasting impact in communities.
Join us in shaping a brighter, more inclusive future for children and young people. Enroll with us for a program that equips you with the skills to create real, lasting impact.
To start your application, email us admissions.zambia@repsi.org or www.repsi.org or our Facebook page @RepsiZambia or call 0770-707-924. Together, let's make a difference through love, care, and protection for children.
Hello viewers, I am Esther Abrahams Daka, your presenter for Alangizi. Alangizi ni programu ya mene imayangana pa banja, zachikondi, zamchikwati, intambi or cultural values.
Paja pamene bapika na uja mwana nkala afanika nkala pamene pajanga twapika dere azibe mopikira dere azibe mopikira lumanda azibe ndiyo zonse
ankala interest
ndabakainge kupenda kuchikwata zapika bwanje.
Each one of them ngandine tate nifuna ti bana banga bachita accept mukazi uja. I should show it to my children and they will accept this. The mothers were that lady should also play well for them to accept it.
And I'm here to inform you that Alangizi has gone on recess, but we will be right back in September. So for me, see you in September.
Ultimate Business Stage is back. From the 1st to the 7th of July, the Trade Fairgrounds in Ndola will be buzzing with endless opportunities. But how does your business stand out in the crowd? You get on the big screen with Crown TV. We will be live in Ndola, ready to take your brand straight into the homes of millions. From primetime commercials to exclusive event coverage, we create advertising that drives real results. Don't miss out. Visit the Crown TV stand in Ndola between July 1st and July 7th or contact our sales team today to secure your special trade fair advertising package. Crown TV, feel the honor. Welcome back. You're still watching the Royal Breakfast Show, and you might have missed out on the Daybreak News, but you can still catch our other bulletins at 12 and at 18:30. But before the break, I did mention the fact that you need to be kept abreast with what is going on when it comes to the exchange rates. And of course, like we always mention, they are indicative. They do vary from bank to bank, and these ones are as of 6 o'clock. So let's get to find out how they're looking like this morning. So the rand is buying at 1 kwacha 18 ngwe, and it's selling at 1 kwacha 10 ngwe. So it's just a 2 ngwe difference, but 2 ngwe is still a large difference. And then the United States dollar is buying at 17 kwacha 53 ngwe, and it's selling at 17 kwacha 88 ngwe. It looks like we're moving further away from the 18 kwacha mark, which is quite good, especially if you do trade either in Bitcoin or Forex, or if you just like to shop online. And then the Great British Pound is buying at 23 kwacha 52 ngwe, and it's selling at 23 kwacha 99 ngwe, just 1 ngwe from making it 24 kwacha on the dot. And then the euro, surprisingly, is buying at 20 kwacha 34 ngwe and selling at 20 kwacha 74 ngwe. So if you have any family members, any relatives, any friends who are in Europe right now, make sure that you pinder them so that you get your money's worth. Or if you want to buy something from the UK store, this is the best time for you to shop online. Otherwise, those are the exchange rates. They do vary from bank to bank, and these ones in particular, they are as of 6 o'clock. So the next time you go to the bureau, and you find that they might have changed, well, we did tell you here on the Royal Breakfast Show that they are likely to change. But it is Wednesday, the 17th of June 2026 rather, and you might know somebody who's celebrating their birthday. So if you know anyone who's celebrating their birthday, make sure that you wish them a happy one. Yesterday was Tupac Shakur's birthday. He actually would have turned 55. So if it was your birthday yesterday, then you're sharing it with a legend. However, I do really want to take you back in history so that you understand where we are coming from in order for you to know where we are going. So let's take a look at what happened today in history. We already celebrated our founding president, our forefather when it comes to the president of Zambia, in Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. His birthday is not today. I have no idea how that managed to pop up. And I don't know how the 21st even popped up, because today is the 17th. But otherwise, that is what happened today in history. In case you are a student or a learner, maybe you're a bit sick because it is June after all, and you might have gotten the flu. So you might have been at home and you're like, oh, okay, at least now I have something to talk about. My friends like, yeah, that's what happened in 1991 with South Africa. Very interesting stuff. The fact that they had to enable an act which sort of classifies between a South African as well as a person who was actually born in South Africa for racial clarification. So the next time you want to go to South Africa and you're like, oh, okay, so this is part of your heritage, at least you can actually talk about that. And yesterday in South Africa, quite interestingly, it was actually Youth Day. They celebrate Youth Day on the 16th of June every single year to remember the youths. And also, if you want to watch or get up to date with what happened in South Africa on Youth Day, make sure that you do watch Sarafina. Otherwise, moving along to find out what's making the headlines on the front pages of the various newspapers, you can come through and let me know which one of these headlines stands out to you the most. Remember, you can either call or text by dialing 0979 958 392. And also, please, 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 I'm asking you very nicely if you can leave a comment underneath our Facebook page, because we are live as Crown TV Zambia. So you can always follow us whether you're on a bus or maybe you're in the house and you're away from the TV. You can watch us on your phone. So let's get to find out how the papers are looking like this morning. There are various newspapers that we're going to be looking at, and one of them is the Times of Zambia, which is leading with the main headline. And this one might actually interest you. Meal prices slump as maize bumper harvest drives commodity prices down. And then on top, you find another headline which reads, 100 fuel tankers handed over to youth coups. So you can find more of that story on page 2 of the Times of Zambia newspaper. Right next to that, government goes open source. So if you want to find more in detail with regards to that headline, you can go to page 3. And also another headline which reads, GIP Zambia provides $15 million support to small, medium enterprises. And then underneath the picture story, one of the stories on your left in the black box over there, there's a headline which reads, Lusaka Ndola dual carriageway reaches 76% completion. And this is true, because I did travel to the Copperbelt and there's quite a bit of development that is happening along that road. And then underneath that picture, there's another headline which reads, Government scales up SAF. So in case you're trying to find out what SAF is, it's the Sustainable Agriculture Financing Facility. And then underneath in blue, there's another headline which reads, Campaigns, police beef up security in hotspots, because you might have seen in the past couple of days how there's been large assortments of crowds that have been gathering to hear about the promises, the campaign promises or messages that have been let out to the public. And then in red on top, underneath the main headline, it says, True leadership is about service. And that's from the president, Hakainde Hichilema. And then Veep confident Zambians will give UPND fresh mandate in August. What did the president say? Don't be too quick to say that it is in the bag. I'm just paraphrasing. Otherwise, those are the headlines making the Times of Zambia's front page this morning. Moving on to the Daily Nation newspaper this morning. Very interesting headlines that are making the front page of this newspaper. So let's just take a look. And it's leading with the main headline, which says, Publish Secret Bill 7 vote records. And that's according to Musa, who challenges Parliament to make public how members of Parliament voted on the controversial bill, which has seen President Hakainde Hichilema name and shame 4 former UPND lawmakers as rebels who disobeyed his instruction. So you can find more of that story on page 3. And then underneath that, vote for me, UPND to safeguard your freedoms. That's according to the president, HH, where he says, should Zambians prefer to retain him, they risk going back to the days when donning the UPND regalia was a crime that would see people getting beaten for wearing colors different from those of the ruling party. So more of that story on page 3. And then underneath that, there's also another headline in blue. It says, We'll end culture of persecuting former leaders. And that's according to Brian Mundubile, who goes on to pledge that he will endeavor to end the culture of persecuting former leaders, assures President Hakainde Hichilema that there will be no persecution, victimization against him. And that is to say, when or if he is going to be in opposition. So you can find that full story on page 3. And then next to that, James Ndambo denies having presidential ambitions. Very interesting stuff. So you can find more of that story on page 4 of the Zambia Daily Mail newspaper, or the Daily Nation rather, the Daily Nation newspaper this morning. Looking at other newspapers with interesting headlines this morning is none other than the Mast newspaper. So let's take a look at how the headlines are looking like on the Mast newspaper. So it leads with the headline which says Mwachepa Sana, eyes on the ball. It's not crowds but votes, says Hichilema. There was a similar headline that was making the News Diggers newspaper's front headlines yesterday as well. So it looks like it's poured into the Mast newspaper's front page as well. And then just looking at another headline in blue on your left, it says 24-hour economy benefits not yet felt. That is according to CRAZ, which is a Commuter Rights Association of Zambia. So you can find more of that story on page 3. On the other side in green, another headline which leads with State House Youth Desk coming. That's according to Brian Mundubile. So you can find more of that story on page 3. And then Membe briefs Commonwealth on Zambia's democracy. So you can find more of that story on page 3, where the Socialist Party presidential candidate Dr. Fred Membe says that the country's democratic space has shrunk, as we've been hearing over the past couple of weeks. And then in yellow, release Chongwe report on Barotseland, and that's according to Sinyinda. So you can find more of that story on page 3 of the Mast newspaper this morning. You can come through and let us know which one of these headlines stands out to you the most by simply dialing 0979 958 392. If you feel like I'm saying it too fast, remember, you can also read it off the screen if you're watching from the comfort of your home. Moving on to the Zambia Daily Mail newspaper this morning with some interesting headlines as well. It's leading with the story, "We must win big. 2026, not for games. It's serious business." That is what the president is saying. And then on the left, on your right rather, in the black box, it says government goes open sourced. And then underneath the main headline in the cream box over there, it says Muslims in Choma urge peace during poll period. Right next to that, there's another one in red. It says don't mislead voters with fake promises. Kabuswe cautions Mundubile. Underneath that, Bulangilo plans to benefit 800,000. Right next to that headline, Copperbelt Ebola surveillance enhanced. So you can actually read more of that story as you open the pages of the Zambia Daily Mail. It's a Wednesday, but we're almost there. Don't worry. The weekend is just around the corner. They also call it Hump Day today because it's just like a bump in the road. There's an inspirational note that reads, make your faith larger than your fears and your dreams bigger than your doubts. And that's according to who? Robin Sharma. So you can find all of those interesting stories that are making the front page of the Zambia Daily Mail newspaper this morning. Remember, you can always send us a text message on 0979 958 392. Which one of these headlines stands out to you the most? But I know for a fact that the one that stands out to me the most is definitely the one pertaining to how the president has said we must win big. And that has got to do with his visit that he made to the Western Province yesterday, and that was in Mongue. Of course, we're going to be looking at that in detail, in a little bit more detail as we go in further along in the program. So moving on to the Daily Revelation newspaper as well, there is an interesting headline, and it leads with the main headline, which says, carry the sick to vote HH. Sorry, very interesting headline, but it says carry the sick to vote HH. Very interesting stuff. There's also another headline which reads, it actually goes on to say 2026 election is serious business. And of course, there's also just interesting material there, which has got to do with the campaign period. Otherwise, those are the headlines making the Daily Revelation newspaper this morning. Remember, if any of these headlines stands out to you, you can always text me on 0979 958 392. There's also another headline there in the box. It says, Release Bill 7 votes, urges Mwenye. So you can find more of that story on page 2 of the Daily Revelation. And those are the only stories making the Daily Revelation newspaper this morning. But as I did mention, there was an interesting headline that was coming in from the Zambia Daily Mail. But before we do move on to that, there is another newspaper that we do have to dig out some stories from. And this one is none other than the News Diggers. The News Diggers, which is leading with a headline which says 13 face axe as UPND suspends members for supporting Gary. Ooh, very interesting one over there. And then there's also another headline just underneath that, and that is in yellow, and it actually reads, Simutani predicts voter apathy. Some more of that story on page 4. In pink, on the left, it says, I need to win big. That's according to the president. So you can find more of that story on page 4. In blue, external debt service dropped by $90.9 million in 2025. That is according to the Bank of Zambia. So you can find more of that story on page 7 of the News Diggers newspaper this morning. So we're just going through some of the newspapers which were coming in with some of very interesting headlines, of course. And remember, the number to dial is 0979 958 392. Get involved in the conversation so that you let me know which one of these headlines has stood out to you the most. This is just the News Diggers, the one that we're getting to go through with regards to the headlines that are making the newspaper. But what I keep on referring to is the Zambia Daily Mail, which had a very interesting headline. And of course, we did start the show with a clip with regards to how the president made a visit to Mongue yesterday. And it says, we must win big. 2026, not for games. It's serious business. And this is quite interesting because we saw how Honorable Byron Mundubile, as well as his running mate Makebi Zulu, have managed to garner that large crowd in Kitwe, where people even went as far to say that it might actually be AI. But it also goes to say that maybe perhaps majority of the people that were found in that crowd don't actually possess voters' cards. So there was also another headline which was actually talking about the same thing, and that was actually pertaining to how large crowds do not win you votes. It's actually the message that the politicians actually have to bring to the table of the Zambians that is potentially going to win over the hearts of Zambians. And I'm referring to the headline that was in the Mars newspaper, where it says, Mwachepa Sana, eyes on the ball. It's not crowds, but votes that bring you into the presidential seat. And that is according to the president. And like I keep on alluding to the fact that the president did make his way to Mongue yesterday, and there were quite a couple of interesting things that he had mentioned, and that is to say that the campaign period is not to be played with, and it's not games that you're going to be playing. And there was a working visit that he had actually made where he was actually talking about enforcing party loyalty, meeting with the Adopted United Party for National Development candidates. He issued a strict directive against visual divisions. He also declared that members who lost or who were not adopted under the UPND ticket must not run as independents or defect. But before I do go on further along into this discussion or the topic, let's just get a refresher as to what happened yesterday in Mongue. So let's just take a look at this.
Happy to see you in Western Province this morning. We want to assure you that the hard work has never killed anybody. On that basis, we want to assure you that we shall work tirelessly day and night to make sure that we give you a bigger vote than the one you got in 2021. Mr. President, allow me to call upon you to say your words. Mr. President, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Namuimbuka kuno
mufuire twani kwanu
mwazibasi kwangwa
shango
mwazibasi kwangwa balozaluna uyu namuimbuka kuno
nakuimbuka siwana
namuimbuka wino Zambia bana ba Yesu Zambia alibone mazo Zambia Marozi amutwe. When I say something you must shout back. Bulozi wewe Bulozi kafela wewe Bana wa Marozi wewe Mambu mwele mbayo wewe Thank you very much. I want to say to you, I am happy to be back here after only a week, 2 or 3 weeks away.
Nimataka kuitumia kumina hape kuliasamuna ho walisunda fela za kuwa kachenu hape mwaharamina.
I was here not long ago.
Neniliteni mabozi mo tamazazi asupire fela.
And I went round a couple of places.
Na potoha ibaka zasikani.
And today I'm here again.
Mikachenu kinayo maharami.
This is how I show my love to Barabamalo Zikao.
Kona sisuko saliato kumina Barabamalo Kamukana.
And this is to me caring for the people of Bulozi, the people of Zambia is a serious obligation.
Ona pabalelo ye wasichama sabulozi mane nina hakaufera kona pono yaka.
We need to understand that when somebody loves you, they show their love to you. They care for you like I do. That is why we work hard to deliver. We deliver development because of the care and the love we have for Banamamarozi and Zambia's capital. Because we care and love for Banamamarozi, that is why we introduce free education for all our children. Any parent who loves his children will make sure that the children go to school. That's why we've taken them back to school. Zambia, are you not happy that our children are back in school? I want to see the hands of those who are happy that our children are back in keep our children in school going forward. That is why last week this Muchaha, Bali, HH signed the bill to make free education a law.
As you can see, people turned out in numbers as they did make their way in the Western Province in Mongue, but they also welcomed him pretty well when he also touched down at Mongue Airport, where he also mentioned the fact that, you know, the government has actually emphasized the impact of free education, as well as asserting that it has equalized both opportunities for both the girl child and the boy child, and how they previously used to stay at home due to a lack of fees. So as you remember, last year there was a large number of boys compared to girls who had now gone back to school, but still the percentage is a bit uneven when it comes to the girls and the boys who are performing well in school and who are actually being enrolled in the same schools. He also spoke about CDF, where he highlighted that secondary school bursaries and local skills training such as carpentry, as well as plumbing and welding, have been funded through the Constituency Development Fund, which is CDF for short, and they remain central pillars for the youth employment. Other things that he'd also gone on to talk about was addressing the debt burden. We've been talking about how the debt has constantly been restructured, and in the same discussions with the clergy, he did address the concerns regarding how there's been slow-moving projects, and he also went on to explain that the social development was severely hindered over the past 2 years by the inherited national debt, where he also went on to note that the complex debt restructuring agreements have finally provided the leeway needed in order to invest heavily back into the social sector. And you might have seen there have been quite a number of developments when it comes to the social sector. Protecting regional growth was also another point that he had made out during his address, where he warned that the Western Province actually risks falling behind if local leaders as well as the church resist economic development initiatives, where he pointed to the completed structural projects like the Lawinga Bridge as proof that the administration has actually established a foundation for rural connectivity. There were so many things that he addressed, and also talking about the drought response with regards to the network as well as community aid. But I did mention the fact that the church also had a few things to say, and there was a bishop who had also commended some of the things that the president had done. So let's also just take a listen as to what the church has to say with regards to the UPND and their work so far.
Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Chipata, George Lungu, has commended the UPND government for what he has described as significant strides in improving the lives of ordinary Zambians through key social and economic reforms. Speaking on the country's developmental trajectory, Bishop Lungu has singled out the introduction of free education, the enhancement of the Constituency Development Fund, and the successful restructuring of Zambia's debt as some of the government's most notable achievements. The bishop has stated that free education has opened doors for thousands of children who previously struggled to access learning due to financial constraints, describing the program as a transformative intervention that is helping secure the future of many young Zambians. He has further noted that the increased CDF has empowered local communities by bringing development closer to the people.
At CDF, mwesako ma constituency mwamwetu anteo katijana chituko chuoneka. Chimushita mwaya UPND na HH mushtashiweme chakuti vantu ave na mphamvu yoona kuti kasi ndama zati pasa chitungo chifunika pakati paso nchotyani mwama constituency muri okatijana vantu achita chitungo chosaneneka ya omwe chinsokonezo uzikonda mpaka nyamba ndama zikali mabanki teshantawi vantu. So CDF nizoona mweyaboma muichita nchito iweme yotipasa mphamvu ma constituency tizichitira saka chitukuko tuziva kuti apa patufuna apa yayi ngani yabwi free education vana kuwamisha ngati ukia munsewu tuwana natumpisi kumuka tulimga uniform na kakapu kumanja.
According to the bishop, many districts are now witnessing improvements in infrastructure, skills development, and access to opportunities that were previously beyond reach. Meanwhile, Bishop Lungu has emphasized that while challenges remain, it is important for citizens to acknowledge progress where it has been made. He has urged leaders across all sectors to continue working together in addressing the country's pressing needs while building on the gains already achieved.
Vuto ni akuti nthawi zonse akutakwaya ophunzira madaka boy mpela. No. Tifuna madokotala, tifuna maticha, tifuna nsembe, tifuna masistere ophunzira. Mapasi wampata pankhani kuti free education kuti mwana aliyense apeze mpata wakuya mkalasa kuya kusukulu taphunzire. Yani nkhani weme. Kama chita chipani, nkhani weme. Nchatufuna. Khongole. Boma ichita bwino kuti nkhongole iya pindishe bwino kuti aone matinga lipirire. Kuti mawa nkucha
For Crown TV News, Tawanda Munyuki.
So those are some of the activities that were transpiring on the Western Province or in the Western Province with regards to the president's visit to Mongue. As you might have seen, there was a huge crowd that did appear. But elsewhere, we did see that Brian Mundubile as well as Mkebi Zulu with the NRPUP were on the Southern Province and they were doing some of their door-to-door activities as well. But there have been quite a number of text messages that have been coming through. So let's take a look at some of the messages that have been reaching me via our inbox. And remember, you too can do so by dialing the number, which is 0979 958 392. In just a little bit, I will open up the phone lines. But for now, let's take a look at some of the messages that have been reaching us. And remember, you can also go to our Facebook page where you can also leave your contribution as well. This one says, good morning, Queen Mataka. Blessings to our Republican president who's promising obvious things, unlike those who are pronouncing things not even in their manifesto to the public. What is in their manifesto that they're hiding? These are the same people not long ago killed people without regret, and the same crocodiles are back around, moving around with the shadow of a dead person campaigning without shame. Zambians must wake up to denounce. This is Samuel in Lusaka. Thank you, Samuel. However, some of the comments are not that of Crown TV, and they're strictly that of the viewers. Other messages that have been coming through this morning, it says, but Crown TV moderators, good morning. Zambians' problem is they know what they don't know. The only magic to drop prices is not slogans, but working hard and producing more, not empowering marketeers with excavators. Mr. Mwatafwali from Kapiri Mposhi. Thanks so much, Mr. Mwatafwali, for sending us a text message this morning. You too can do the same by dialing the same number, which is 0979 958 392. Good morning, Crown TV. What Mundubile is talking about is not adding up to what Zambians need. Let him try his dream in 2031 because at that time, people could have forgotten his road contract. The FTSDK in Navutika compound, Chipata. Thanks so much for sending a text message and letting us with your thoughts as to what we are looking at this morning. What has changed for the mass newspaper of Fred Namakondo to write positively about HH and UPND? Is it a sign that he too is about to defect to UPND because his roommate can't speak our official language, English? Mwachepa sana ba kachepa. Thank you so much for sending this message, and so that's basically just what the master was also talking about, the headline. Morning Crown TV, yes, HH must win big, and it will be like that. It'll be like we don't want to go back to PF, who tormented us in their reign. Bene Mundubile are just hiding in PF. Today, HH's dates in Joma. See you there. Matongo GS in Choma. Okay. I really wish okay, I've just seen something come through. I really wish I could also travel to the south so that I can meet some of you who have been sending us these messages. Yes, it is normal for the UPND to win big in Southern, Western and Northwestern because this has been a pattern of voting. But to be very honest, this is not for games. This is a true challenge the UPND is facing. And to be very honest, this time rhetoric messages and blatant lying will not work. This is Bitcoin in Lundazi. Thanks so much, Bitcoin, for sending a text message this morning. We're currently going through some of the text messages that have been reaching us. Good morning, Crown TV. Mundubile failed to control the opposition in parliament. They became unruly, and some of them are fugitive because no one cancelled the young man in our honorable house. He is not fit to be a leader. Makabe also has not shown leadership on the funeral of our late president. Zambians, be careful when voting on August 13th this year so that Kalaba continues in 2031. Senior citizen from Manyinga. Thanks so much, senior citizen, for getting involved in the conversation. Remember, you too can also do so by dialing the number. It's very simple, 0979 958 392. It's a mistake to say Kitwe rally. It was Copperbout rally. Then Tonse are desperate. No manifesto party Kombe in Kitwe. Thanks so much for sending us a text message, Kombe. Good morning, panel. Even if we aren't UPND members, it appears wranglers in the ruling party are still there. If we can hear of 13 suspensions for supporting Mr. Gary Nkombo, also for crowds, we can see HH and Tonse Pomodzi rallies all highly attended. I wholeheartedly thank Bishop G. Lungu of Chipata Diocese for showing maturity in talking sense. This is a senior citizen, but we don't know which senior citizen because there's no location which has been added to the fold. So let's take a look at other messages that have been coming through so far this morning. Mwauka Bwanjigelo. It's very rare. Catholic praising government. It's a miracle. Ndashi, you look better in white powder. Mr. Mwanza and Dola. How am I? No batata. We've laid to rest our chief, so there's no more powdering, thank goodness. In fact, I was on radio also, and they also put some Millie Meal on me. Imagine me, an innocent person, an innocent child of the Most Living High. But let's go to find out what you think. You can now come through. The phone lines are officially open. You can call me on the number, which is 0979 958 392. The president was in the Western Province yesterday, in Mongue to be precise, and he did say that these campaigns, it's no games. You have to be serious. It's serious business. And as you know, most of the political parties have also taken to campaigning and also setting up their rallies so that they can win you over. Hello, good morning. Hello, please reduce the volume on your TV.
I've reduced.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Amon.
Ah, Mr. Amon.
I'm calling from Saka.
Lovely. Please, go ahead.
Any language.
Yes, yes. I can get you. Uh-oh, I think he's gone. Moka, Mr. Banda. Tauka, how's Cinder? Thank you. It's just me, sir.
Okay. Mwena ma-constituency mulibe vitukuko. Winango ma-constituency malamaka pasinda palibe malingi vitukuko. So kondo mamiga ngako vaboza yai because ngatitia miga ngako vaboza, that's why Boma singa seventh. Ngatitia miga vaboza malingi. Boma ni singa seventh. If nganga titakamba vindu vaboma vazona tikoma pakuti zona vantu twana sina sevenzerepo. Azilichita apologize. Azu visini CDF ile kajabe. Tinaro diopja kunyanje huko. Kunyanje huko loko one day.
kulibe na road bwino. So kufuna kuti vazienda vaziona kuti koma zona divya kundoka mba vantu nivazoona. Because ngati mundu ayamika chepe vaboza pa TV apa. Ngomala lekira vaboza le kuti paja vindu sivili bwino. Kwezi vindu vambiri maningi vonongeka. Yeri asinda hii. Kulibe bwino vindu bwino wazi pano tina manyumba mene wana siya edika.
Mr. Banda.
Tuana kome pona malata.
Mr. Banda. Mr. Banda, do you think that the bishop is lying?
Hello?
Do you think that the bishop is lying with regards to what he said?
Vinango vindu wafuna kuti vaenda vaona. Because vanhu venango tikudika pala pasinda palika skulu kamozi ka CDF. Ma bridge dilibe. Dilibe ma bridge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Banda.
Zikomo kwambiri.
Zikomo. Good morning.
My sister, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Moses. No major breakdowns?
Yes. Indeed, no major breakdown. Napasako mwana wa banda wachokapo. Ukambila message ya bishop, my sister. He did not say in all the constituencies there is development. And I think I appreciate that bishop. He said where there is unity, that's where we have seen development. Where people have not been working together, there have been challenges. And we can see there have been challenges. So, for me, that's why I've been saying we need to give this president another chance, so that he continues where, Bamene Achita, we are a developing country. We cannot manage to be changing government where the leaders every after 5 years here. Our very opposition, me, I love them. They are our fellow citizens. That's why I'm even appealing to my fellow citizens. Not to demonize them like some of the messages here. But we need to encourage them. But because what we need is a strong opposition. What they need, our very opposition, is to refine their manifesto so that by 2031, I think they'll be more ready. Because when you look at some of the things that they are saying, those are the same things that this government is doing. Like when I come, I'm going to increase new allowances. Meaning they have acknowledged to say there's new allowances. When I come, I'm going to increase CDF. Meaning there's a CDF. So I think that they need to refine their manifestos so that they tell us even where they are going to be getting the resources, the money to fund increase the CF, the new alliances. We don't want them again to go back there in Europe to begin to borrow here. We want let's improve on this economy so that
as you wrap up, Mr. Moses,
can be funded through our economy. Otherwise, Bali has done well. I think yes, he has challenges in other areas. No government is perfect in the world. So where they are not doing well, we must tell them to say, "Naimwe, manga wanzanu hizi." Where there is unity, Bishop.
Thank you, Mr. Moses.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Munonge, good morning.
My good sister, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you this morning?
I'm very, very happy. I'm grateful.
Oh, that's good to hear.
My sister,
yes,
we should help Banda to understand that capital projects are not for the MP and cannot be done in CDF. Like roads, feeder roads, yes. Not bigger roads, no. So you should be guiding these people so at least, even as they contribute and making checks and balances, they have basis. So, but Bishop also, I think what he said is good. Those are the people we want who criticize in order to get things done. Okay? Not just criticizing for the sake of criticizing. And the bishop also should work with the church. The Catholic Church, are you aware that they are not valuing free education? They have continued charging parents who take their children at their schools. I currently have my niece at some Catholic school where they are paying this 600 per term. So I think they should also help the church. Previously, mission schools were meant for the poor who could not go to government schools. But today, mission schools now are exploiting parents. And people now are running to government schools. So we want them to
contribute to complement the government, but at least they should accord that free education also to the public. With regard to whether presentation should be retained or not, guys, we should remember where we come from. PF had a bad reputation, even in the eyes of the international community. No wonder at the end of PF, almost 2020, somewhere there, even the good Chinese, who have been such friendly, started folding their arm, not supporting the Zambian government under President Lungu at PF. The same Akebi Zulu, was the government PF lawyer and President Lungu advisor. The same Munduvira was even the government chief whip. Okay? So meaning he had a stake on how this government was governed. That they had built a bad reputation in the eyes of the international community. What we are enjoying now, why President H could manage to get that bailout in less than 1 year? Because of the good reputation he has in the eyes of the international community. Look at how much he has attracted to this country in terms of investors. Now energy, we have energy boost there, energy mix. People are bringing the money to Zambia. Mines are now revived.
As you wrap up, sir.
As I wrap, mines are on the copper bed under maintenance and care. Under PF, they could not even hardly export copper. But those things today are there because of President H's good name. If you read the Proverbs 22, I think you go to church. It says a good name is better than what? Riches or oil. If you have a bad name, as PF had, terrorizing citizens, failing to pay debt, in fact, bringing those back, the international community will fool us and look at us as not normal people. Because people who failed you, how can you bring them back? They could not fund the government department. Free education, they could not afford it at the primary school level. Can they manage it even at tertiary? They can't. They failed to mobilize the resources. How can they get resources now to fund those things today, which they failed to do at their time? So these are the PF Munduvile guys have a bad name in the eyes of the community.
Thank you so
Don't
much,
bring them
Mr.
back.
Mongue.
Does it well for us? I thank you.
Thank you so much. Welcome,
Hello.
Mr. Alec.
Mauka.
Tauka.
Yes. Muntu aliyese ana muntu amene akonda. Number one ningakuze ni muntu aliyese ana muntu amene akonda. Wa Bishop George Lungu since PF wozokamba postumo kuti no goma system. Ilabora po UPND. Malaiti ya vuta 4 years sana tichosereko mau kuno tino cost of living vantu yavavuta olo malaiti yankavankhana na challenges so muntu aliyese ana interest na chinthu chamene akonda ene makiti yose amene mungaone yava bishop yakamba vabwino va UPND isi good ni choice yawo koma vantu pa ground pamene vankhalira sikumanga ma building ukamba kuti no maybe vachita chitukuko nanga cost of living vantu chamene adandaula muno mzambia ni cost of living ndiye challenge amene apeza nayo UPND government cost of living ndiye pawani amene yavuta vantu mankhalidwe kadyedwe ndiye pali problem ndiye pali ma challenges manyumba maona so ngati tikamba aliyese ana interest aliyese ana interest kulingana na merchant chamene alukonda because kuno Christian province not tinamane ngati munaona mujamchechi wanakamba yes quite right wanakamba koma munaona wanakondwa baja watu bezita busy situation Eastern province siri bwino so mwamene muona ngati iri bwino zipitiza so chabe koma sabaiti ionera siri bwino cost of living ndiye yavuta vantu kutaje bwino nchovuta ino time ya business koma kuchitika monga kulibe business Eastern province mining ni farming koma fama valulira magulisidwa vintu unaona so nsakuname boza zamene zili kuno Eastern province vazaka chitiwana disappointed kusogolo kwamene tienda ni party izakachangamuka vintu vaipa kuti no nda bishop akamba kuti no chani chi CDF ili bwino mzaka chitiwa disappoint serious mzaka chitiwa disappoint vintu sivili bwino.
Thank you, Mr. Alec.
Yangane maningi government yamene lipo yangane maningi pa cost of living
Zikomo, Mr. Alec.
Zikomo kwambiri.
Zikomo. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What is your name, ma'am? Where are you calling us from?
Didi Ndola.
Oh, Madam Didi, you sound different.
Dashi, fintu tafiri buino, kuputula feri ashi, tafiri buino. Noti tule landalo chila muntu alikuwa to muntu atemwa. Kutu wa isapa wa waminisha wa wamisha kwa laba tumwe walungu labale wa wamisha kwa laba chiteshani. Election tashi yako government ya fumineko. Na lea muna ma infrastructure. Wamufwa ba polisi fimu tifyale mena pamalanda ba pongo shinga baisa bakufuma ku bedroom mulumi apale aku kuruka baikala pansi. Wamufwa baba pangila manda amalevo walo ni mwisa yafuma ama bridges ni kwisa yafuma social cash transfer yali yakali kwa isa CDF isalangene mpanga yonse muri government ya UPND iyo CDF baja katushinga bali pabeka bantu mwana bantu fa bale complain kuri CDF.
Sir, Madam Didi.
Why?
Which parts of Ndola do you live in?
Hello?
Which part of Ndola do you stay in?
I stay in Kansenshi.
Kansenshi?
Yes.
But like the road there, they're working on it, the whole stretch. I think
Yeah,
it's Pacha Road.
yeah, there is a road. Now I'm talking about the development yakaena economy. Nama roads ya yo muntu wangi. Nya nama roads ya kubakitetu webe atiniwa ngaba roads ya wamisheba PF. Wamufwa, MP ashifumine muri government ina ashifula. Na mwana poefi ya kweba chama roads kwela yengi dikayabe bwino. On Saturday I was in Kuliba Mayo. Tetutemwe nokutemwa inikitwe. Tetutemwe. Economy na ikosa. Bola ile bwela, dola na ibwela. Fish file sangi kwa. Umuntu tetefya kabile efyo. Mwalishi bansala hivi sana no kuikala na mwikala panga ndo tuntuna tubulila tachiwana. Chila vipa economy taiwe me ine kuti na supporta ni shindelia ndapoke fintu tunanga chose filipe
Madam Didi,
kulela nda kuli ba president watatu ba president besufita filibu ino ababene batotela
Madam Didi, sorry. Madam Didi, there's another thing, there's something else. Madam Didi, Madam Didi. Also, I noticed they've introduced quite a number of restaurants as well. Isn't that also good because people have been crying for jobs, so they've created a little bit more of job creation as well? Okay, thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mahombe.
Mkwae, mwashibukeni.
Mahombe Ndunga.
Mkwae, please.
Mahombe.
Please go ahead, sir. Hey, there's too much volume in the background. Please reduce the volume on your TV if you're going to call in, because there's a lot of feedback. Hello, what is your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, madam. Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, sir?
I'm Smwene, calling you from Livingston.
Oh, Mr. Smwene, how's Livingston this morning?
Yeah, Livingston. It's okay, madam.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Yes, madam. Ndanda kwamba ida issue ya development bantu bamba. It is simple the UPND yaganjira mu government. It was so pathetic. Things were bad. Now, you want to shift into your house. You have built a house. You want to shift into your house. You don't just enter the house with the way it was when you were building it. You need to clean the house. You don't buy food first. You first clean the house. You make sure where you're going to eat from, the place is safe and secure. So what UPN did, the house was so pathetic, was very dirty. They were first cleaning the house where they are going to sit and eat with their children. So now, this time since budget stabilized, this time 2026 and beyond, because they have cleaned the house, they will make sure to say, even about whether to buy and the cost of living people are talking about. How much is the government buying maize from farmers? So do these people want government to be buying maize from farmers at 100 kwacha so that the bag of milk can be 50, can be at 50 kwacha? Are farmers going to be happy if the government can start buying maize at 200 kwacha so that us who live in town can be buying milk at a cheaper price? So sometimes, as we are on both hands, let's try to be so genuine and realistic, because the minimum that we are buying at maybe at 260, it is because of the maize government has increased in terms of prices and the other logistics. So you don't expect minimum to come at 100 kwacha. Even these people, they are saying let them come because there is hunger in their houses. What are they going to do so that minimum can come at can go back to 150 kwacha where they are talking about? Let those people they are supporting come and tell us what the mathematics they are going to play so that minimum can cost at that much they want. So and sometimes let's not be lazy as Zambians. And there is no leader in this world who's going to buy us minimum to say kazigula bungati pa 5 kwacha pazingati. Let's work hard. Let's work hard. We are all part and parcel of this country to build it and to make sure that this country is a success.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my sister.
All right. We have another caller. Hello. Good morning. Morning. Please reduce the volume on your TV. Okay. I didn't say turn off the phone. Hello. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Oh, I'm calling from Zavonga. I'm very Chilala.
You said your name is?
I'm Chilala George from Zavonga.
Oh, Mr. George, how's Zavonga?
Zavonga, please, we are still enjoying the weather. The weather is still cold.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the best one.
And like the upcoming weather.
Hey.
Upcoming weather.
No, please go ahead.
I just want to say some of the good things that UPND has done and the bad things that UPND has done. In fact, let me speak maybe in my mother tongue, Tonga, so that others do understand. Into Ivo to UPND, Yajita, Ahivi, Yajita. Problem won't problem. CPF, yes, J. No, via mass supplementary Zibalanganya CPF via. More especially Malone, not a Malone. People are complaining. We buy a stay with Saidi about money pay. You know, the problem is president. The problem is in IMP. If I want to run my CDF for what I want to malo in my project, I want to carry the water down. If I want to banda, I think a banda big time younger. So I want to about up ground the area water into Mam Development. You know, the president. That's why. Who campaign a president, not in the end, but president around 100%. You know, our ground, some want to go in the carry a vote. The one in China, even Lungu Zapota can lose. Even to lose here, Bantubala ground, Putala defend. You know, Mumbi Masena, and bring in the condicated woman, it's a business, and it's a business, I will on the butcher, Iranima butcher, Nama butcher. You know, all mama saying that one I was CDF, Menda Quali, Malaiti Quali, Masola, Menda, we are moving town and go to Samba shower. It's toilet fresh air coil. Our body one boat, I was only one of what you know, and another. Send the button there, I was never saw, I would make good man that I was government to be all not can make Menda Gago, Jarula, would you want to Unye, Coco is additive or Mumbi. Inonga kuliboga elementi gahonto biyo gahonto kuba dandaula kabora magana abamba gutaba bumi bwayuma iba abantu mudara bamba byo mupefu bali wamboti bumi bwayuma.
Thank you so much, sir.
But for tabalimita olo balike de mutauni gire.
Thank you so much.
Chitolo batolo.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good, thank you. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling. My name is Kingsley Mutema. I'm calling from Livingston.
Oh, Livingston, lovely. Please go ahead.
Yes. I don't want to come back at UPND. UPND are saving. This is a check. My politics is the main now. When is the last time one? They are not working hard. They have to pull up their socks. Otherwise, they are giving the vote for UPND again so that they can continue working. and the other issue is my chiefs chiefdom enangu UPND fatira my chiefs like in skute balatufatira chief amestifuna the government what the members of the Leo family balatufatira muntu amestifuna my chiefs okay kuba government I see it to secretary chief. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Banda in Lundazi, good morning.
Dashi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
All alone today.
I'm all alone, but I'm not lonely.
Dashi, I want to be, let's call a spade a spade. Yeah, I want to be very real. I want to be very real. The problem with reportation in Mozi. When the UPND was coming into power, they presented their own manifesto, full of promises which they made. Okay, in the long run, without going back to the people and tell them that it's some subsidy. In the local language, my entities out they decided to sit on their own. Taking a country, you cannot run an economy, a country like a business. It has never happened. I'm telling you, you are well educated, making reference to other countries in the sub-region. You cannot run a country like that. That's why they have found it very difficult, and they are going to find it very hard to convince an ordinary citizen this time. I'm telling you the truth. I'll give you a practical example. Here in Eastern Province, yes, the bishop was speaking like that. Let me tell you, a fortnight, he was the same bishop who was complaining in church, saying people, wali mafuaka, wali mamilisi, fuaka wakanga kuti wakule, omba fuaka kuli alini. There's a problem here, the industry that we depend on here is agriculture. They came up with a policy, the Ministry of Agriculture, we thank God it comes from Eastern Province. But up to now, people are failing to say with the tobacco. Maize, yes, there's bamba harvest. Right now, per kilo is 250 ngwe maize. We don't know what will be the maize pro price. Okay, so saying UPND has worked, let's not live in denial. Just saying UPND has worked, it will not work, Dash. It's totally rhetoric, and it will not work. It's like adding salt to the wound. And people are not happy to hear those messages. Let's just face the reality to say things are not good. And if there are ways to show remorse, let government show remorse, be remorseful to the people. Maybe that way. Not just saying, things government has worked. As what? I'm telling you the truth. 13th August, mark this date and that. It will be different. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bold statement from Mr. Banda in Lundazi. But I will be continuing to taking your phone calls. But for now, we're going to take a short break. When we do return, I'd like to find out from you. Are you still receiving load shedding, or has load shedding stopped at your place? Stick around to find out more on the other side.
Hello viewers, I am Esther Abrahams Daka, your presenter for Alangizi. Alangizi ni program ya mene imayangana pa banja, zachikondi, zamchikwati, intambi or cultural values.
Aja pamene bapika na ujamwana nkala afanika nkala pamene pajanga twapika dere azibe mopikira dere azibe mopikira lumanda azibe ndiyo zonse
Uncle interest
ndabakainge kupenda kuchikwata zapika banje.
Each one of them ngandine tate nifuna ti bana banga bachita accept mukazi uja. I should show it to my children and they will accept this. The mothers were that lady should also play well for them to accept it.
And I'm here to inform you that Alangizi has gone on recess, but we will be right back in September. So for me, see you in September.
fwaya usende achiya munani pati iyi nshirapusha nokutunga chuwa
Alala kentrande na imwe. Mana nwamingisha nomba mnganda?
Ha?
Mana nwamingisha mnganda?
Takaina pakulala yero fibo filifulu. Tapano kuningalala mwanjini. Na aisa zomunzaka mana.
Fibo filichalo kense kukosa venda saka mana fyo mweobe.
Abantu abalefu efyupo muno mu kyalo bengi sana.
Nomba ina wamwisa nali upo hapo.
Ina ne alikunonga okulondera ine pano wafe. Olwo abantu abaleeta mboti bakweba. Atukweba ati ine nsha upapo. Nsha kwatapo mwana.
Ine ninjipelesha kulima nga muli serious. Munjo ati ndi serious. Kozi ine shirafu okusebana ku kyalo.
Kuti wana pa beneka.
Ibo mwefa kupa ine. Ngakwala omwana kashuwa isunga pano pa kyalo. Pona aba. Ine vingani na imwe. Waza pikira de vingani.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Royal Breakfast Show. We are in the third and final hour of it. So if you are returning to your TV screen, or maybe you're now switching back to Facebook, the conversation was with regards to the president's visit to Mongue, which is in the Western Province. And basically, we're looking at the fact that he mentioned something very interesting, and that is these campaigns are not for games. It's a serious business that is being taken place. And I've been receiving some of your calls, some messages have been coming through just to balance it out a little bit so that we give everyone an equal opportunity. Let's take a look again at what is looking or what is happening in the inbox. Some of the messages that you as a viewer have been sending to us on the same number, which will always be hopefully 0979-958-392. This one says, why does HH always sing about free education when Zambians are struggling just to have 3 square meals, which he promised? He could have improved the cost of living, unlike singing his UPND anthem for the entire term. It's pointless. Kingsley Mutale in Livingston. It looks like a lot of people from Livingston are watching this morning, which is quite interesting. Now, you can send us a text message because we are currently looking at a couple of the text messages. So it is 0979-958-392. Looking at other messages that have been coming through in our inbox this morning. This one we've already gone through it from Mr. Kingsley Mutale in Livingston. Let's look at some of the other messages that have been coming through in the inbox. This one says, we want a debate and people will see who's the best candidate. Our president is intelligent, I assure you. This one doesn't have a name attached to it, nor does it have any location attached to it, but it would be nice. So like we will follow you, don't worry. But it is 0979-958-392. Some other text messages that have been coming through in our inbox, because we are currently going through a majority of the messages that have been coming through, just in case you haven't been able to have your phone call picked up, because there's a lot of traffic that is going on right now when it comes to the text messages. I mean, the phone calls. We will return to the phone calls in just a bit, but we currently looking at the text messages. This one says, morning, grown the cost of living. All right, moving on to another one. Good morning, Mukwai Matakala. Today I'm Mataka. The other day I was hoping I was a Matakala. Politicians say and promise what people want to hear, but they know they're cheating. Mundubile knows his PF moved prisons and ZR HQs to Lusaka and failed to revitalize Mulungushi textiles. He deliberately avoids talking about brutality, Carterism, tribalism, regionalism, and hate speeches during PF reign of terror. He avoids to explain why PF is campaigning before burying ECL 6. Why the late King Pizeni was buried before ECL 6? Why should we go back to using paraffin lamps? To Toli, whilst the rest of the world has moved to the use of electric bulbs and fluorescent tubes. This is Ki Maswabi Luli, Sililo Maswabi of Mongue. Sililo Maswabi, please let us know how it was if you did manage to go to the gathering or the rally that the president had, where he met up with residents of Mongue in Western Province. It would be nice to hear from you, and it would be nice if you would call in as well. But let's look at some of the other messages that have been coming through in our inbox. It is 0979 958 392. This one says, good morning, panel. I feel the peace prevalent in the country is recommendable. May God continue blessing the nation throughout the electoral process. We urge the political parties participating to maintain peace in their parties and show us leadership for us to have a right choice for the State House journey. This is a senior citizen in Iteji-Teji. It's been a while since we had a couple of people texting us from Iteji-Teji. You used to be our #1 viewers, but now you've become shy. But thank you so much, senior citizen. This one is located in Iteji-Teji. You too can also send a text message. We're currently going through a number of them that are still flooding our inbox. It's HH Forward. We can't bring Mundubile in power. Auntie D from Eastern Province, Petauke. All right. Thank you so much, Auntie D. It's good to know that a majority of the ladies are watching these days, because it used to be majority of the men. So at least now there's some sort of equality. The former MP for Cinder didn't deliver well to the expectation of the people, like Mr. Banda. One Hubs McKinney. This is One Hubs in McKinney, which is of course in Lusaka. Thanks so much for texting us. You too can do the same if you want to get involved in the conversation, just like everyone else has been. Remember, I will open up the phone lines once again so I can hear your thoughts with regards to how the president said that 2026, it's not for games, it's serious business. This one says, good morning, thank you, UPND, but it's time to go. Bye-bye. But it's not the same bye-bye. This one is like for pain, but I get what you're saying. But thank you so much. There's no name attached to this one. Very interesting views, mixed reactions, mixed emotions. We do understand this is the campaign period, and there's been quite a lot that has been happening in and around the country. Good morning, Crown TV. Every 5 years, we are not changing the government. We are changing the prices. Why? This is Mwanza from Kafue. What do you mean, Mwanza? That you're changing prices, and we're not changing prices, or we're not changing the government, we're changing the prices. Very interesting stuff. But I did say I will open up the phone lines again in just a bit, but we need to accommodate some of the text messages that have been coming through from the beginning of the show, so that we have some sort of a balance in case you're like, oh my gosh, my message, it's there, but I'm trying to call, but it's not coming through. But like I said, the phone lines are open once again. 0979 958 392. Give me your thoughts with regards to what the president said when he did to Mongue yesterday, Western Province. Sililo Maswabi, please, if you could call us and let us know what was happening on the ground, it would be nice. There was an AI generated image though. We suspect that it was AI generated to show the multitude of people that had actually made their way to Mongue when the president was actually addressing the crowd. So we just want to put a bit of a contrast with regards to the same rally that was happening on the Copper Belt, where people are also saying that Brian Mundubile's crowd was sort of an AI generated image. But let's just look at this one quickly, if we can, if it's possible, so that we kind of see how people are now, I don't know if they're trying to compare the crowds, or they're trying to say that, hey, we can also generate AI images. But there was this image that was also posted on social media. But this one is quite obvious because everyone is literally wearing like the same shirts, the same heads are there. There are no flags. I don't know how those cars managed to park like that, but someone was saying that what AI can do with you, we can do better. And this was the image that was generated. Otherwise, let's get back to some of the phone calls. Remember, it is 0979 958 392.
Yes, my sister.
Yes, Mr. Moses, you're back.
I'm back, yes. That crowd you are showing us, are those real people?
We hope they're real people.
Wafana, wali for technology.
Technology.
because those people, they look like you are immediate happened. There is no movement.
Right.
So they are doing a disservice to these political parties. If that's what they are doing, you are deceiving the nation. I think let's be real as Zambians. So I think for me, I want to agree with what was said the other day when you saw the crowd for Munville, that these crowds do not translate into votes. Just like the UPND crowd, it does not translate into votes. Not all those people were there are going to vote. Then I was relaxed. That's why you have to be serious as a political party. I agree with the president as I go when he says it's not for games. I don't see anyone who is campaigning to be playing games. Even in the Munduvire camp, they are promising big, meaning they are serious. But for me, my worry is they should be telling us where they're going to get the money to increase the CDF to 100 million, the new allowances and so on. We don't want a government which is going to come and start borrowing heavily again. So I think that the president should not just look at himself as a serious person. Anyone who is standing, they are serious. That's why it is a contestation, like the World Cup. Anyone who is there, you underrate Cape you draw 0-0 there, because they are there to compete. Thank you. We are listening, my sister or my cousin.
At least you didn't powder me. All right. Another message over here. Another caller.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good, thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. I'm Matoka. I'm at Manyama.
Oh, Mr. Matoka, it's been a while.
Let me say Rumwana district by now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's been a while since you came through.
The only thing which you want to tell the opposition people, I haven't heard a good thing from Mr. Mondovere, because Firavaranda, Fira ya ku parliament, kuya ku parliament, Fira kokola, efu mwamwena nangu wa HH pa kupanga, efu wapangire fyonse, takuwa wakufika fye, wapanga ifi nale mnyeba, tama maini zinka mipera, yelo wapera, takuwa Fira pita mu parliament. So nga Fira pita mu parliament, Fira kokola. So that is the only thing if our president HH Fionse na bapanga na balando kwa titamwari urupia apanombo urupia na rufula mu banki. So they want now to ukubombera na mbayichalo cyakine nababombera kare cyalo abana baleri obwari mu maskuru abantu babaleri mama taba not nabari mama taba barashitisha ka tuition 400 or 350 mama nomba babare for yati development bambya tawe tureranda mu insala abantu tureya kumishimu kulima takwakabe president ukeza mukala pero bunga takwakabe takwakabe president ukeza mukitashani apa turero dole fere poneyo banini kishe yo bachitireshani twalasanga ifintu ifisuma ababa nenso abari shani ifashani nibari abare ukamugode nibari abayire ku kulari ababundubire ife turerando kwebati twari batwechechi twalaba vote because nangu mumpango munabe cyose kitakwa bo bamwishe bana mundubire mumpanga mwari bafe ba beka so twala votela. So the only thing today for kwebati batwali lepe chalo kichinje ko kwati kitachinja ko kuja ama constituencies kuja kushadi amazembe bashitire kwa mazembe bali ama constituencies as you can see kwali ama constituencies yari kula sana ama development tayari fika hapa ya Afrika. So that is the only thing which we are doing. We are trying to say let the president to come back and finish his job. Thank you very much, Mama. May God be with you people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, my sister.
What is your name? Where are you calling from?
You are speaking to 95% of the people from our platform. I'm calling from here, the capital city of Lusaka, Matero.
Ah, lovely. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. My sister, mu country number one, if you in Zambia to start what na corrupt minded. Not what corrupt minded. If it's a go at Bala back pere chintu at yechi and then I'm Bogulande. It's study a father starving, but you are the benefit well. Come on, the money by UPND. UPND was Congola for 14 billion. PF was Congola 14 billion. Nombanga mwasenda kapeka muye kumongo. Mwambio kumunotepa tumone matama kyoleke mwasito benefit mulishire mpya wa Kongwele. Na baba UPND mpya wa Kongola. Mwana sanga katwena ba kumongo eko na kuini in last week. Mwana sanga matama kyo wa bitega PF. Ikin market kyo wa pangile. Ikile mwone katwena tama. CDF jaipanga even tamak. Mwebe na Zambia. Kaipanga ngutamak. CDF vailetelenga emergency money. They implement by UPND even the achievement yako bati eyo yonze ke ikaleti abantu wadi ni CDF umunani wa CDF eyo by the new emergency money kamwe ndo kwa tinga bridge kaya ya stenani eyo vailetele kama tumone mune CDF kwa iba paragraph ni jeti ya 1.6 na abantu watabalira kozi ni 40 ile ya ni 1.6 Nomba aiba background so fino tuli kumatero bamandevu n'abakwata nga tulamona abantu impya nga shera background umwana wakwata nga abare seka project abare paka project nishina muko mingi kutumbwa nga tulenda nombe liliashi ikala pene balungu abene basanga kwati balungu abene baba umupanganda kwa kuma activity so that kuti balitasha so kama Zambia kama watulo sister government ya injile kwa UPND ni cost of living, not living. Cost of living, number one. However, echo mwa mwini waka indibade mbelane mitengo kutila. Cost of living na lasa abwesho mga pa 50 kwa. Price 250. Muna ndo kwa chabantu baishwa. So nga mtekwa di mwa tuleta shaba haka indinishi. Lungu kuru tia nyareru tia nyakuru mwele na Zambia. Kwa muna nduwa kutilo unga mwalesto wachika. Yo mwalesto ya chika. So no president I say mwalepo ya mugije yenu kusacha increase kyonse bintu so no mbale wali kuri mwayibo kutali bwino sana kenje tukose uyu president ali bwino batero lungu bare pango bunga chukiti tamwalela la neka pamuto cyari batecha konta pamulandu wako batyo na pilo nchakuro na station badlero wa kusta increase wa ile kushukuru ya kusta increase ali kusta increase bale ngepa pali CDF.
Thank you so much, sir.
In conclusion,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mr. Malamo.
Hello.
Good morning. Hello, good morning. I'm quite much working.
Oh,
that's good. That's good. Please.
Kuna ndave chinga echivandashi arapita vonza vavaicheka vari anga kani manifesto vaopposition tavakwete manifesto yavo yakuranda vati yo echechi ngapita ngatoapita ife vaopposition tukasamukata yo wivutuka nopa kuti waya mukonga vakuvato wivutuka ngani vabhanda kuchifue maoko yosefe vaidisha since 2021 kaidisha nyavati yofinduta filibwi nishivera tavarima ife vambi tularima twalisendeko tumawani hekta waya mukulima washiteko umunani ubungata washite yapo chava chavo tengilionsefe kwati kugelela kwati filakiago PF ati nitobeko uluki ufole boza vaidishani makada vakulanda ti valefola mu PF right now takuri kwa kufola kuiwena ivi ni cost of living yoine ikonka muntu nakwata indalama bandashi but alaya mkuno ubwalo kwa 10,000 but pangande tashitepo na ngudunga yo ala jisusa mkula dato living cost yo fintuda $1 no tatuvira kula chitaifu tulaba muona umu epo batoba wala mabotolo ama mosi muntu nafuma mukufola salary yonse ile pwila kubwalo yo ala salary ndati obunga n'abalunda yo munani n'abalunda but ubwala balundira aleshita so vintu vimwe tufira tule evaluation haifo veriterions tule linafe kuri government no ili abalandire nangu ili alali ali ku Mongue mailo chachine abantu namba nabakwata sana chimona kuno kwenda ku Copper Belt bali bamundubire na alemye bali kumye bapa Saturday bale tunta kwambira be ndola mufulira lwansha nani kani chingola bonse bali mu chungulo bambi bali stranded bali fira kuwereramu so epo pyaba chikitika pamalali ni fifine but August pa 13 epaka muone kati awo ule wina ni wisa but kumi ave chinga bamudubire ni mu town mu maruro areas efoto amona abakadira sana yone campaign balera ndeti yo echi wibutuka abakabutuka ni bene so twalamo ndako tire twatotera tukereko bambi chance
na totela. Hello, good morning.
Wabumeli madam.
Mkwai mwashibukeni.
Mkwai bashani mkwai.
We know.
Mkwai bashani.
Mkwai, we know. Please reduce the volume on your TV. There's feedback.
Oh.
Okay. All right, you can. Yo, I think there is a feedback over there. I don't know what's happening because I'm responding. But you two can come through on the same number. Hello, good morning. Please reduce the volume on your TV.
Hello?
Hello, sir. Please reduce the volume.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. This is the voice of Mr. Shepherd from Dollar.
Oh, Mr. Shepherd. Lovely to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm quite now. Economy and whatever. You know, need to analyze Yama politics. We cashing up in the Christian nation. When we take it into politics, we can definitely point at someone. But in the community nature, we have a fear pachalo. My sister, so it's a government monso mapita. Muyunipi, Mayabari, Calabuino, Nabari Chula, it was there, PF, it was there, even now, and it will always be there. Number, Nichofe, Chilawa, Chawama, because of my efforts and Spanga for event. Otherwise, this government has done a lot. Looking at where we have come from, this time we are saying that there is 6.7 billion so far. Mugofa Zambia to exceed more. Number.
I think we lost him there. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mabukashani.
Mkwai mwashibukeni.
Mabukashani.
Mkwai.
Murela naba mwila. Kumpulungu.
All right, please go ahead.
Tonderisha na kufaro vitu na mambo ya hande chivichonzo andashai baba UPND ngarera nda mureba parents day kurusana bena wadiwa kuri party ngarera nda mureba kutura wa parents day nono mureba sie pakati baba ndashiro muretupera insta muretupera tiyalingana wa UPND na bambiko muretupera kufira tiyalingana ukwisa kuri topic wa ndashi umuntu rangwengala ndashani nangu atukane apontere ba muntu bire atiteshani nangubisi eshina lya muntu umuntu umuneke umuntu alepita mune umuntu esho bamutemene mambo wandase mu byaba kuri bamwe bari pyenga bare ponta no kulanda mabao galangwe jashuweme fo kubisha wa brani mungire bantu cyakini mare kwa syo kubona ule eshina lya PF texuma namba tende fukane zakubukwe bati brani mungire abantu ngana bamutemwa my sister tapata no wingalanda seba yako alesa tapari na winga ikanya ebo ningesho kulanda ndiko zinga mwatimumo my sister ndemye kino kishinga ifinti muzambe tafiri bwino ero kwanda kwe kishinga makalamba nangu imo bene basita na nyupa ero panga ndali dali ndira nyupa ikile mistire file fwai kwa ukya pamuviri pamieno kuti mwafuma mukakanga ndemona mungu stowule kai nikile msunga bwino amona so abantu ngabalanda tifinta siweme my sister bayupendi nesha bapata my sister yosi DF balanda yapakanwa amona ngatwalanda yapakanwa 1.6 we can't compare 1.6 to 40 million we bantu tulemona and we are not blind ngama Zambians eta number 1
iyo bintu bayanda okutira tawe namba nabakwata nomba tema vote ngabe na mu 2021 abale ba join na ngotawa bambe wa join ne mwa MP lambe ba cha te namba bare for my sister idali ne namba nde miyo mutira mujishinge for bena Zambia bafuri lobe isikaba UPND sikaba pecha mano nangu mulande muaminishe munganda ngata muri bwino nista muri bwino sinto mutafire bwino ayama election bakutira yabe quiet my sister. Thank
you so much, sir. Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning, madam.
Good morning, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is George. I'm calling from Lusaka.
Are you calling from George?
My name is George. I'm calling from Lusaka.
Okay, I thought maybe you're George calling from George.
No.
Okay.
SOS.
Oh, okay, nice. Please go ahead.
Okay. Ndefo nkupokolola kwa bishop. Na mwisho wa bishop tabarufyenye nangu chimo yo. Na bena pali vision ye balemo na pali president ye bachilalandra bantu betapa ba bishop mukanwa tyo ba bishop balande fya a. Na bena ni opinion yabo kulieko baba kuchipata efyo balemo nano tuba nefe turenda la makapu murodi turebu tukira kuskulu mukunwa timu kulia tempofu ba bishop baliawe. Na mwishwanga kwali ba ukupata omuntu kuti bamupata muri fimbi bati muri fimbi kuti bamupokololako mumone ba PF tabashire pwempia muri zevu infula tayalo kere bwino bati bali kontolola fyonse fyaba panomo nomba abombe atiyo bali finshe fyo bashire tapali efyo bashire lero baleta shakufimo nangu mukashobyo wa munganda muri munganda kulabo kusunkana munganda kuti wa mutasha nangu wa mutanka kuti wa mutasha badi mukashwa ndi ulia ali bwino nkuchira noyu naleta efyo chaba landa fya abantu iyo bambi bali fulano kusungana bakashibabo abe nabaleta mama foni uko bale fulano kusteka kali abungovungana kuchipa. Thank you, Mama.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, we've got another caller. Hello, good morning. Okay, that one ran away. Mr. Malonda, you back?
No, I haven't called today.
Oh, you haven't called? Oh, sorry. How are you this morning?
Okay, and how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Sure. No, we as the citizens have different views, have different opinions. We see things differently. That's why you have this for opposition, this for the ruling party. Now, I want to worry about insala. Yes, that could be insala. But now the Shiva Fira is that. Now we never support the opposition never. UPND Peti apope na isa fe no kusha fionsi. Ayi ne wale bati amasabus this. Eya ona ole fin. Ila wale konta fro fia ofindi. Bamba kula lipila amasabus this. Instead shile pia babo mfia mu investment bakuti chalo chambe kukwate mpia bena bale lipila ukuti ati bawine 2021 bambo kuzembeleka abantu ati yo bale ya bwino bale babikira popa bunga bale babikira popa lifiwe na fimbi yo chimpia tijipa ganchi bale onaula so bashire ntonomba ni 88 ule wanya nani ile isa so bumper harvest for this year panjilo infula ya dilo kaluyata ya lokere at least takwa di bwino. So this time, if you now see about PF, that's why it's a moneka number is not free bomba. This second term now in Mukesa 2031 is into 50 now when I want Sabaleka and whatever twice. But Ngalusa, Nishicharu Chidelusa, TH, Nave Nanishivari Lusa, Panti Fintero the Piala Nakila Kofi, Nakandalama Koma Pangide. Akaba UPND bakonseka kanobo kuya mumenshi ngafira fine bati tirero bayishi 2011 to 2021 konse yawo na ikafyo bayishi ba pia banda. Thank you
so much. Hello, good morning.
Hello,
good morning.
Hello, Mwashibukeni from Kwai.
Kwai Mwashibukeni.
Wabuka, Auntie Catherine, Chipata over Spain.
Oh, Auntie Catherine, please go ahead.
Kwai. I'm sure if you're Africa, you can go through.
Yes. We can hear. I hope you get well soon.
Okay, thank you. Na mwishiba politics opo ileendera. What like if you are president church vaipita mu campaign nani balanda chishila tampa tembere. Tuminda mulakwati ama campaign ma president batampire kale 4 years 5 years tabachitira allow ba opposition kwe bati bale selling manifesto bale twebo fo bakabumba bali no sta na batweba manifesto like ba mundu bile tule konka mule mona necho ikintu wingi kireba mlandu wakuchula like ilya makururulari yani no working day. But momole the way people turned out, and yet the president felt about ninjing shama ama Zambia zinchto ama youths. Ishench to shama database. So tule mona tule pitamu tule mfa na menso eswa tule mona ne file chitika. Basaka mane opposition yoko hili. And iwe duwatemela kutuwa nga mwavota balipo ba church balitoba kwe bati ba PF bali bombere bwino national angel bali bula ba PF baba bika mu UPND alliance baona ula ne chipani cha PF ba PF ba mundu bile bakwata tonse PF tonse pamoza alliance bali mu alliance chili chalenga foto alitemeno PF bati ba church batwikala pansa mbwishi Yesu baona ula PF yo bale to bati mwikababwesha chishitwinga kani nokubabwesha ngama Zambianze ngachakwe bati bena balepokerera ba maozi basande chanda banani bajobo bebati they were thieves bali bile bachite plande in amali sources batebo basenda bena pakuti bapitirisho kwikala pali chile chipuna ifo to alanda chino tuleba funyapo abena bashibo kwa bati bale bomba buno ngatababulire balabo bale bati those are bad seeds baba bika muri bena na ifo to alanda twati ifo tukashi twalabula balaba shere ko bambi ababa ale bifya na bafumamu twalabula ko bamundubire tubabike bachipuna fertilizer bale to promise bale checho batwebela fertilizer ikapchipa bana lubango bateba mu parliament ati 750 twala undo kufa fertilizer takuti monene bela tweba chikubombe shafye ifa tulalima like nela mdala tulalima kumukonchi fwaka umutengo ofo na wike twalibomfya abantu tufira kubafolesha twala chitashani endo umuntu kuchayisa pati balaba lete mu kusende fya mu market kulisa nakale tulayibombera nabona ulafye cost of doing business besa mukutwe bati nala kula ma airport ama provisions nani ukala kwela pulishinga tukwete tukala nkoda finch makapto yali onaika basi yali dula wati mwendeke yo airport obakaleta ubo bufisho bwafita fititi tabakwete fisha kweba abantu bale twe batu muntu ni pamala sana cho baba vote
bali so much Auntie
bale twe batu
Catherine.
muntu ni pamala tatwakulali ama road
Na total son of you.
mkulekelesha yo free education bale twe batu free education tapali bale ta free education ya bula bachinja curriculum without books mwana ngata ubu ufaidi chef 10 kwacha kucheka kumba chushonzi ni shitapani ni danda heads kona ula fie school at free education ukuja afwilale ya pangana achakula amkuja ku school afwilale pangana laba nakwena baba fia shifya kulia kisuma 3 good meals 4 good meals not ku school just mamwombe bwe.
Thank you so much. RK. Good morning.
My daughter, how are you this morning?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm calling you from Garwin, Dash.
Oh, wow. It's been a long time since you called us for the first time.
For sure. I also comment.
Please go ahead.
First, nasireba pale ba bishop. Bishop Rungu, nazibatasha sine. Pando ba bishop kwena. Na ba first day bugisha, he lobbied for a road which is better, and I'm sure that was delivered with the president. Ndefa ndani pa rari ya kukabwe. Baba opposition my leaders beso, in short let me put it that way. They are our leaders, we are all Zambians. Hello guys, lebuno mucha mguranda pa Zambia Airways. Ati I'm coming to revamp Zambia Airways vamutobe. It's laughable. Tuwa papa sana. Labe nakawe kwa hiyo. In the first place, but our mundu what are supposed to do on this team. Why didn't you apologize? Ubenakawe. Our president Valet Sata, may so rest in peace. he had the passion for Zambia Airways, and he got a loan, Euro bond, 150 million. Actually, I said I can't say. If I'm that time, it was unaware. The Valley Bombasana, and she never done Pogua. By engineer, Chirwa, who was hired to the he was frustrated, but I'm going to send in Dalamasia, which was meant to rehabilitate Zambia Airways. No, some local engine, number coaches. That's how he also said, we get them beja. In enough mammo. I mean, the Baga MP, HMP Baria Gana, Echovare Ocha. Today, Mundurisati gets a Mugua Mazamba, the memory and that they ran the Piaman. That's full at it. You were supposed to apologize when I Zambia, when I go. But it's to talk with him, ever to Agana, to Aria, to Aina, to Aiva. I'm sorry for that term. What to apply. But about didn't go never you paying the.
Thank you so much. I've been taking in a couple of your calls, and we do value the fact that you do come through and give us your contributions. However, on the way, we will be catching up with Emmanuel Muteba, who's going to be telling us about International Day against the drug. So that's International Drug Abuse Day, which is going to be happening on the 27th the 27th of June, which is next week, Saturday. And there are going to be a couple of marathons, but we're not talking about marathons. We're talking about the day itself. So we're going to take a short break. When we do return, we continue.
The ultimate business stage is back. From the 1st to the 7th of July, the trade fairgrounds in Ndola will be buzzing with endless opportunities. But how does your business stand out in the crowd? You get on the big screen with Crown TV. We will be live in Ndola, ready to take your brand straight into the homes of millions. From primetime commercials to exclusive event coverage, we create advertising that drives real results. Don't miss out. Visit the Crown TV stand in Ndola between July 1st and July 7th, or contact our sales team today to secure your special trade fair advertising package. Crown TV, feel the honor.
Never miss any updates when it comes to sports.
Or your favorite club, making gossip in the column.
Anything that has got to do with basketball.
About the spikes of volleyball. Not forgetting about all your athletes in athletics.
Why am I running in a suit?
Catch me, Dinosi Victoria.
And me, Dash Mataka,
on Sports Chatter.
Saturdays 11 to 12.
Only on Crown TV.
Numerous cases of people falling asleep have been reported across the African continent. No one can explain this phenomenon.
With 24/7 FIFA World Cup coverage, sleep can wait. Everything can wait.
Catch all 104 matches from as little as 255 kwacha, only on DSTV.
So, Drug Abuse Day, or International Day Against the Drug Abuse, is observed globally on the 26th of June, which is next week, Friday, especially by the United Nations. The annual observance actually aims to raise awareness about the physical and societal dangers of substance abuse and mobilize international action to create a drug-free world. And a lot of the times people actually talk about the fact that substance use is just the smoke inside of it, but they forget that there's also the alcoholic abuse today. But today we are featuring Emmanuel Mutebe, who is a counselor, Muteba rather. He's a counselor, and if you do remember him, he spoke about HIV Awareness Day, but because he is a counselor and he's well versed with all of these social issues, that is why we had to bring him today and talk about the issue at hand, which is Drug Abuse Day. Emmanuel, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
It's so nice to see you. I see you've been, doing a couple of good works in and around the area.
Yeah, that's my field. I need to advocate and basically speak for young people as well. So that's what we're here for.
So to start it off, what do you think are some of the most effective strategies that countries can use to reduce drug abuse amongst young people, especially in Zambia?
I feel, creating opportunities for young people. We know drugs destroy a lot of things. It destroys the economy. It destroys the structures of how young people needs to progress in life, and looking at the picture of development on the aspect of education and all that. But all it needs to take is having a lot of initiatives of sports ideas, helping young people be innovative and creating great opportunities for them so that they lose focus on the abuse.
So just tell us about what was happening here with the children.
This video was taken from a friend who is more involved into drug research and also trying to find out what young people in the street, let me say street adolescents, go through. So he went through discovering the challenges and what leads them to be in the street. And there were a lot of conversations that were shared and how young people abuse drugs and how they know to say drugs is something that is really harmful, but they just take it. They have nothing to do and they have no option to run away from that.
And how do you think we can sort of diverge from having young children selling, illicit drugs and also illicit substances? Because I always allude to the fact that when I was on the Copper Bouts for the Copper Queens Four Nations tournament, I witnessed it myself. I saw kids as young as, they looked like they were 9, 10, or maybe 8. They were selling those little sachets, which are actually banned in Lusaka. I don't know how it is on the Copper Bouts. But how do you think we can sort of maneuver them away from selling and also just getting themselves involved in such activities?
All right. So in the streets, there's a lot of drugs and people don't actually understand. And then when you look at it, these drugs are even very cheap. They sell these drugs very cheap in the streets and in our communities. And then, the suppliers. I feel when we find the root cause of people that supply this kind of drugs in the community, that's where we can start from. Because every young person, like you say, looking at the part of the Copper Belt, I think it's a different place. You find out like young ones walking with bottles, with ball sticks, 9, 10, with sachets and every types of drugs that you can see and notice. But as the government, it needs to implement, a program in which they can divest these young people, put them into a rehab, creating more facilities for them to make sure that they know where these young people are getting it from, who's supplying to them. You find out, I know it's a black market world, but at the end of the time, it's where the government needs to enforce the law and make sure that, we find out where these drugs are coming from and where they're being, shipped from and how they're getting into the country. I feel so.
What role do you think that schools and universities can play in ensuring that they can reduce the levels of maybe even illicit drug trafficking or just, young people getting themselves involved with substance use and drug use? Because I know that universities have seminars where they invite speakers, and then schools, they also have like these little talk sessions that they have during assembly. But do you think that that's enough? What more do you think can be done to prevent these cases?
Okay, well, this is something I've been waiting for a while, and this is a big platform I would use. I would urge, the government also. I'll stick on the government part because it plays a very big role in our changing of structures, and I would want them to emphasize on, employing young peers that are being trained and being educated towards, peer education as well as mental health issues, because you're looking at school, universities, and secondary schools. This is where young people spend most of their time at, and this is where they learn a lot of things. And if we can amplify the learning mode and just making sure that we've got sessions that will be carrying out, checking on the mental structure, the mental healthy, the coping up, the social well-being of a young person, we may make sure that we'll be cutting it off. Because why? We're identifying it at the early stage before somebody becomes a drug addict. So when we have something like this coming in schools, mostly I would say secondary and primary schools, this is where we'll start from. Because when somebody doesn't finish school, they drop out because they're drug addicts. Where do they go? What becomes of the society? How do people look at them? So even before we go to universities, we need first to start with the primary, then we advance to the university. But I feel at the university, people have got choices that they make. You're bigger enough to know to say you can use drugs and they can destroy you. But hence, the enticing of education and the structure needs to develop. Needs to develop from the government, from the education sector. It needs to develop from that end.
But it's all about the foundation, because I remember when I was in primary school, and it also differs. It depends on the sort of technology that is availed to the certain school, because I know on the rural side of things, it might be slightly difficult because when I was still in school, I remember they showed us pictures, visual representations as to what would happen, for example, if you took a substance such as LSD, like what effects it would have on your body, if you wanted kids in future, if you abused too much alcohol, how that would have an effect on the baby, having FAS, which is fetal alcohol syndrome, where the features of the baby are, for example, let's say the eyes are meant to be like the way it's symmetrical, it's like pointed out directly like this, or they have a flat nose. So I think it's the foundation that's important. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on whether or not it's true, this theory of saying that it's always about peer pressure, but maybe it's also because these kids also decide to embark or engage with these same drugs. And maybe it could be other instances, such as what is happening within a household or what is happening internally. How do you help those type of kids to overcome those situations?
All right, that's good. Peer pressure is there, and we cannot run away from it. I have a video of certain girls, I think that was 3 years ago or 2. I think they were school girls in a boarding school, and they were smoking. There were like 7 of them. They're smoking. They were making a video, and for me, I feel like they were trying to entertain the media, trying to entertain people. But hence, I feel they know what they were doing was harmful to them, but they decided to do it, which led that is peer pressure. Somebody would force you, or not even force you, but give you something to say, can we do this? It's your ideology that makes it to be fulfilled, because you say, I would do it. If I'm not doing it, I'm not classified to be the friends, you understand? And then hence, again, going back to the household and the family, I feel parents' engagement is really something that should be done frequently. And this is what us as people that live to educate about this, make sure that parents are involved in the lives of their children, where you're noticing how a child is growing, you're noticing what's happening to your child and the development, because this is where when a parent neglects their child and they're not able to see exactly what the child is going through, what the child is thinking, the friends that he's hanging around with, that's what destroys a child, because that child feels he doesn't have the love of the parents and the guardians in the house. Then he will go find love to the friends. What kind of friends is he getting the love from? And then you identify he feels comfortable. And then when he uses drugs, he even feels relief. And then you find out he feels like it's in the betterment of him or her, you understand? So at the end of the time, it is what it is, when we need family to engage in this situation to make sure that young people are being kept safe and there's strict monitoring from parents.
Emmanuel, thank you once again for coming through and just giving us a brief insight as to how we ought to remember how to keep our young ones away from illicit substances, whether it's drugs or even substances themselves.
Thank you. So, just shortly before we conclude is, it's coming. It's on the 27th of June. That's World Drugs Day. on the theme of making sure that we are preaching about the preventions of drugs. So I would engage the Drug Enforcement Commission to make sure that they bring these programs to the grassroots and the community and the schools within the communities who save lives.
All right, lovely. We were joined by Emmanuel Muteba, who is a mental health counselor and who is well-versed when it comes to societal issues. However, that is all that we could accommodate for you on this edition of the Royal Breakfast Show. It has been a lovely one, the Wednesday edition. Tomorrow is a bit of a throwback, so expect us to be wearing some crazy outfits. But otherwise, from the whole production team here at Crown TV, keep it crown, watch the news, and don't do things that we wouldn't do. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.